Major trends. Last year was a year of prosperity and this year even more so. Jupiter is in your money house until October 10th. More on this later. Saturn has been in your 4th house of home and family for the past 2 years, and is there for almost the whole year ahead. Family life has been challenging. The emotional life is being reordered. Be careful not to repress feelings. Manage them, but don't repress them. More details on this later. Pluto has been in your 5th house of fun and creativity since 2008, a lot of years. He will be there for many more years to come too. Your creative life is getting a good detox, and the end result, still in the future, will be good. There have been life and death traumas with children and children figures in your life too. Childbirth probably happened via cesarean section or there were other surgical procedures. In some cases there were tendencies to abortion. Neptune has been in your 7th house of love since 2012 and will remain there for many more years. The love and social life, perhaps the existing marriage or relationship, is getting more refined and spiritual. This is a long-term process. You're attracting more spiritual friends these days. More on this below. Uranus has been in your 8th house of regeneration since 2011 and he will still be there in the year ahead. This indicates much sexual experimentation. As long as it isn't destructive, it's a good thing. This is how we learn what works for us. Your main areas of interest this year are finance, until October 11th, communication and intellectual interests, from October 11th onwards, home and family, until December 21st, children, fun and creativity, love and romance, sex, personal transformation and reinvention, and occult studies. Your paths of greatest fulfillment this year are the body and image, until April 29th, finance, until October 10th, communication and intellectual interests, from October 11th onwards, and spirituality, from April 29th onwards. Home and family. Saturn has been in your 4th house for the past 2 years. This is a difficult transit, and he will remain here for almost all of the year ahead. So home and family is a major focus. Things are not easy at home. You've been taking on all kinds of extra responsibilities and burdens, and there is no way to get out of them. Space in the home seems cramped. Yet, a move doesn't seem practical just yet. You have to make do with what you have. A little bit of creativity, reordering things, using the space you have more efficiently, is the answer this year. A parent or parent figure seems very stressed out. Stern and serious. Most likely he or she is over-demanding and over-controlling. His or her usual warmth is not there. This is hard on the family and is not helping this person's love and social life. The home, which is a place for relaxation and nurturing, is being run like a business. It is cold and clinical. People are going through the motions but the warmth is not there. Happily, by now, you're learning to handle this. After all, you've had 2 years of it. A human being can adjust to almost anything. Cheer up though, by the end of the year these trials will be over with. Saturn will leave the 4th house and enter your 5th house on December 21st. There is some good news here too. A parent or parent figure, while stern and businesslike, seems to be prospering and is financially supportive. He or she has been receiving financial windfalls and having happy financial opportunities. Saturn, as ruler of your 5th house of fun, indicates that you're trying to alleviate some of the gloom by installing sports, games and entertainment equipment in the home. You're working to make it more of a fun place. This is a help. You're spending on the home and family this year, more than usual, but you can also earn from here. Family connections seem important financially. Renovations don't seem likely this year, but if you're redecorating or otherwise beautifying the home, and this is very likely, November 22nd to the end of the year seems a good time. Parents or parent figures are having a stable family year. Moves are not likely. Siblings and sibling figures are having a very spiritual kind of year and start to prosper after October 21st. If they are of childbearing age, they are more fertile than too. Their home life has been unstable for many years and there have probably been multiple moves. This trend continues in the year ahead. Children too have been moving around a lot lately. Health. Health will improve greatly by the end of the year as Saturn moves away from his stressful aspect with you. In the meantime, health needs more attention. Two long-term planets, Saturn and Neptune, are in stressful alignment with you. By themselves they're not enough to cause serious problems, but when short-term planets join them in stressful aspect, this is when you really need to take precautions. These periods will be from February 18th to March 20th, May 21st to June 20th and November 22nd to December 21st. The good news is that you're a Virgo and you will always pay attention to your health, even though your 6th house is empty this year. With two long-term planets in stressful alignment, your overall energy is not what you're used to. Thus, things you always did and felt fine doing might be harder to do now, or even cause injury. A friend of mine always climbed ladders to prune his trees. But when he tried it under a Saturn transit, he fell. His energy was not up to its usual standard. So the most important thing is to maintain high energy levels. A strong aura, your spiritual immune system, will repel any disease. But let it weaken and a person becomes more vulnerable. There are many things that can be done to enhance the health and prevent, or soften, problems. Give more attention to the following areas, the vulnerable areas this year. The heart. This only became important in the past 2 years. Avoid worry and anxiety. Learn to relax into life. Relaxation exercises will be helpful. The small intestine. This is always an important area for you. Avoid foods, such as those containing gluten, that stress the small intestine. The ankles and calves. These are always important for you and should be regularly massaged. This should be incorporated into your health regime. There are exercises that strengthen the calf muscles which are good to do. Give the ankles more support when exercising. The head, face and scalp. These have been important since 2011. Regular scalp and face massage will not only strengthen the area but the entire body as well. It's as if you give the entire body a workout when you massage these areas. There are reflexes there to the entire body. The adrenals. These two have only become important since 2011. The important thing here is to avoid anger and fear, the two emotions that stress them out. The musculature. Again, this has only been important since 2011. You don't need to become Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the muscles should be kept in tone. A weak muscle can knock the spine or skeleton out of alignment and cause many other problems. Vigorous exercise, according to your age and stage in life, is good. Your health planet Uranus in your 8th house shows that same sex is important this year. Since you're very experimental here, a word to the wise is sufficient. This aspect also shows tendencies towards surgery. But keep in mind, detox, which is good for you, will often do the same thing, although it usually takes longer. If you take these precautions, you should sail through the year disease-free. Finance and career. Finance, as we mentioned, is a major, and happy, focus this year. Jupiter in your money house is expanding your net worth. Assets that you own will increase in value. Happy financial opportunities will come to you and you'll have good financial ideas. You will end the year richer than when you began it. Jupiter is your family planet. His position here in the money house gives many messages. It shows good family support, as we have already said. A parent or parent figure is very active, and in a positive way, in your financial life. It shows good fortune in residential real estate, the food business, restaurants and industries that cater to the home. It also shows, as we have mentioned, spending and investing in the home and family. Most likely you will be earning money from home, perhaps by working from home, perhaps by entertaining at home or having business functions in the home. Jupiter in the money house brings good luck in finance. There is a feeling of optimism and faith here. You catch the lucky financial breaks and there is luck in speculations. By October 11th, as Jupiter moves out of your money house and into your third house of communication, most of your short-term financial goals will have been achieved. And even though long-term goals might not have been realized, you will have made progress towards them. We seldom achieve long-term goals in 1 year. Progress is success, so the attention will shift to communication and intellectual interests, to the life of the mind. This is as it should be. There are many short-term trends in finance. Venus, your financial planet, moves quickly. In a given year she will move through your whole horoscope. These short-term trends depend on where Venus is in the aspects she receives at any given time, and are best covered in the monthly reports. Venus will make one of her rare, once every 2 years, retrogrades this year, from March 4th to April 15th. This is a period to avoid major financial decisions, purchases or investments. Sure, shop for necessities, but the big things need research and homework first. This will be a time for financial review, for seeing where improvements can be made, for gaining mental clarity on your financial affairs. Once this happens, decision-making will be much easier. There is a lunar eclipse in your 6th house of health and work on August 7th. This often indicates job changes, which can happen either within your present company or with another one. The conditions of the workplace change dramatically. Your 10th house of career is basically empty, only short-term planets will move through there this year. Moreover, the bottom half of your chart is stronger than the top half, on a long-term basis. Of course, during the year short-term planets will energize your upper sector for a time, making you more ambitious, but the bottom half is stronger overall, so there is more focus on the home and family, on your emotional wellness, than on the career. Career will tend to the status quo. You're generally an ambitious person, but this year less so than usual. However, there will be many short-term career trends that are best covered in the monthly reports. Love and social life. Neptune, the most spiritual of all the planets, has been in your 7th house for some years now and he will be there for many more years to come. Neptune is not only in your 7th house but he is also the ruler of that house, your love planet. You are always idealistic about love, but these days 1,000 times more so. Only the highest, most sublime love will satisfy you. Anything less, no matter how desirable from a worldly perspective, leaves you with vague feelings of dissatisfaction. To quote the well-known song, "Is that all there is?" In the worldly reading of things, Neptune is said to be the planet of scandals. This is good shorthand but not completely true. Neptune never sets out to create scandals. He is the planet of revelation. He shines light in the dark areas and so everything gets revealed, both the good and the bad. When this happens in the imperfect world we live in, scandals happen inevitably. Unpleasant revelations that people would rather keep secret. So a lot of revelation, and perhaps scandal, happens in your social and love life. This is basically good. It is better to deal with reality than illusion, but it's not always very pleasant. Love has been stressful these past 2 years. Not all of it is your fault. Saturn has been in adverse aspect with Neptune for 2 years so there have been obstructions here. Marriage wasn't likely, nor desirable. Perhaps there was excess fear in love, excess caution. Perhaps the current love was going through his or her own personal dramas and this complicated things. Infidelity could also have been a problem. A solar eclipse on February 26 will further test love. It is a direct hit on your love planet and also occurs in your 7th house. So a lot of dirt or laundry comes up for cleansing during that period. Long repressed grievances now have to be dealt with. A good relationship will survive, but the faulty ones can end. There is another issue we see in love. Many of you feel a conflict between serious, committed love and the fun and games variety. A part of you wants commitment, part just wants a love affair. This issue will resolve itself by the end of the year as Saturn moves away from his stressful aspect to Neptune. The south node of the moon, not a planet but an abstract point, is in your 7th house until April 29th. It spends a good deal of time near your love planet. This gives a feeling of deficiency, lack. So there could be feelings of lack of love or lack of romance even in the midst of a relationship. This is further testing love. There is good news though. By the end of the year the love life should improve. Saturn will move away from his stressful alignment to Neptune and start to make harmonious aspects. The current love interest should be feeling better and this will improve things. You will be more able to express feelings of love. In the course of a year Neptune will receive various kinds of aspects from the short-term planets. This will produce short-term trends in love which are best covered in the monthly reports. Self-improvement. The moon's north node, again, an abstract point, will spend most of the year, from April 29th onwards, in your spiritual 12th house. This shows good fortune and success in your spiritual life. You will see good results from your practice. Spiritual growth and understanding is not just important for its own sake, which it is, but is very important in your love life. Your intuition is being trained in relationships and love this year. A good connection with the divine intelligence will do much to improve the love life. There will be love challenges this year. You will often feel overwhelmed by them as in truth there is no concrete solution. The only solutions are spiritual, and this is the agenda. You have the kind of chart, and we have written of this in previous years, where one needs to cast the burdens of love and the divine and let go. There needs to be a complete surrender to the divine. If this is done sincerely, with the heart and not just the lips, a tremendous peace will unfold you. Give the divine complete charge of things. Get yourself out of the way. Little by little things will start to straighten out. Either the current relationship will straighten out or you'll meet someone new and better. Love is too complicated these days to handle on your own. Your desire for ideal love is right and proper. You deserve it. Only one needs to know where to look. If you're looking outside yourself, you're on the wrong track. All these trials are leading you to ideal love, the pure divine love, sometimes referred to as agape. This is unconditional love. A love that encompasses every aspect of life, not just the romantic life. This agape, if allowed to develop, will often mend and heal, just by itself, a current love relationship. But even if the relationship goes, you will still have love. In a relationship or out of one will be the same to you. Every need and love, and every means every, will be taken care of.